It feels good to be right, or? In this video, I want to discuss why it's not always worth it to be right. Hi, it's Bijan here. I'm a life coach with a background in hypnotherapy and systemic therapy. My passion is to help others explore and change their inner subconscious pattern. If you're new here, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I would really appreciate an early thumbs up. This really helps my channel to grow. I think we all know the situations. We are in a discussion, maybe a fight with our partners or another person, and you have a perspective, the other person has a perspective. So this is usually the cause of such a discussion or fight, that you have two different perspectives, and then you try to prove your point, and so the other side. So it goes forth and back, and you can bring all the arguments. You can say, oh, I can ask 10 of my friends and they will all agree with me, and the other side thinks the same, and so on and so on. I think we all know this. So we usually feel good when we can prove our points. It feels good to our ego. And the root of it is usually, like, especially in Western societies, we're pretty much like identifying ourselves with our knowledge and with what we have achieved, what we have built on knowledge and experience in our lifetimes. And in the moment the other side doesn't agree or understand our perspective, we interpret it usually on a deeper level. We could interpret it as a rejection of us as a person. And whenever a person is rejected, if you get rejected, this easily can lead to rage, and then you get furious, and then a really fight breaks out. This is a very dangerous dynamics, and you all know how usually terrible you feel after such a fight, and it sucks a lot of energy out of you, and at the end usually there's no winner. They're just two losers. If the other side doesn't see the value in your perspective, could it be that we get frightened that the other side also doesn't value us as a person? And this is a statement, to more reflect deeper on it, because this is all about, if you get rageous, if you get angry about the person, it's usually because you don't feel seen by this person, you don't feel accepted or valued by this person. And this is usually not the thing what the other person intends. So the other person, like you, wants just to prove a point, but usually it's not against you as a person. Let's try another thing. I have an offer for you, and let's see how this feels. So what if we assume that in every argument it's always 50-50? So no one is right or wrong. So it's always 50-50. Both of the parties have the same percentage of right and wrong. And you can also say every person is 200% right in his or her own perspective. Because it is like this. From the person's view, it is right, and on the other side the same. So if you see it like this, there's no reason to be right, because it is always 50-50 and there's no right or wrong. Another idea, what if you manage to think like this? If you see different perspective, you could try to see it as a learning experience. Like, wow, that's interesting. Another person has a different perspective. Let's dive into the other perspective. Maybe I can learn something out of it. If you could manage to have a mindset like this around these situations, like, wow, there's another perspective. And I could dive deeper into it, I can understand the other side, and then maybe I can learn something about it. Maybe I can expand my own perspective. And even if I don't agree afterwards, maybe it helps me to understand the other side better and the other person. What we ultimately want is to be connected to others. This is what we need as human beings. And this is usually what we ultimately on a deeper level want, even if you fight with someone, especially if you fight with someone, you want closeness to the person. So the ability to see that and dropping this wish to prove your point and to bring your perspective through is take a step back. And there are 4 points which are important: willingness to listen to the other person, curious about the other perspective, taking the other perspective as a valuable thing. You can learn out of it. And the 4th point is try to do all of this from a position of humbleness. So don't be like, I'm right. Try to be humble and try to see there 1,000 perspectives, and I can learn something out of that. If you manage these 4 points, willingness to listen, curious about the other perspective, taking the other perspective as a valuable thing, as a learning opportunity, and stay humble, then this can lead you to way more healthy conversations and expanding your own horizon. So if you want to choose to be always right and therefore alone, or if you can choose to drop this thing and be curious and stay open, but therefore you're connected to others, what would you choose? Alone and always right, or connected and seeing multiple perspectives as possibilities and learning experiences? That's it for today, for this video. I hope it helped you a bit to change perspectives. I hope maybe you can try your next start of a fight and try to, if you can, implement some of these things. I would really appreciate it if you give me a little early thumbs up. It's not early anymore, it's late thumbs up. But anyway, it would be cool if you give me a thumbs up, that my channel can grow a bit. Thank you so much for your support, and I'm happy to see you in my next videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.